All right, how's it going, everybody? I do whatever I want. uh, so yeah, enjoy. I'm just gonna do a little bit before I mess off of here. If you see a whole bunch of smokiness in my my area, see this, see all this. Matter of fact, maybe I can forcibly. Yeah. This. What do you think it is? It's not what you think it is because it's an incense. However, um, ooh, I know what I can do. All right, y'all. Let me pause the video I was listening to. I'm going to properties. Do that. And let me see if it starts picking it up. Yes. It does not, however, come out of here that way. What the shit? This should be speakers and not headphones. So this should be, I don't know. I I honestly couldn't tell you at this point what's happening. Let me open up this and y'all can go fuck off for now. Um, Destiny 2 content and so much of it is just we'll just go with say what are you? 9 seconds? 15 seconds. No, come on. I know I've got one of them in here that's. See if it actually plays it. This is wholly original, by the way. Yeah. Listen to all this original content. Oh, this is 6 minutes? Let me know what you think of the sound quality. Let me know what you think of the sound quality. This is literally recorded using the microphone in front of my face. This thing right here. Right here. See? This? Blue snowball ice. It recorded everything here. This is not an amalgamation of different audio tracks recorded. This is just the blue microphone. I haven't done any touching up on it. Takes a second to get into it though. And I know you can't see. I did this on purpose. Yeah, this is all impromptu, improv shit. You know, I don't. We don't have anything actually written right now because this is just kind of a jam thing that myself and my roommate cousin and my not roommate cousin do. Uh, we're never going to do this live because I'm still working on getting certain language things changed around with one of my cousins. uh, so there's that. I do have to get onto him for language sometimes. Although sometimes I'm not gonna lie, I can't get onto him because the way he says things just is so ridiculous. You have to assume he's joking. Ooh, it's I got some organizational shit that I'm dealing with right now, y'all. Okay, that is not what I wanted to do. At 7 o'clock, there's going to be a slight change of pace. So last week, I had a person who worked with previously, does not with anymore, as far as I'm aware. They worked with our revolution. I actually had them on to chat before. As a matter of fact, that particular video is go to my channel videos. Where is it? It was before Politics for Infants, so that was more than 2 months ago. That was before my response to Jimmy Dore video, which has 222 views because Jimmy Dore fans came to mauled over it. What is it? Surely I didn't do it on my old computer. No, I need. Wait, did I have filter this here? Froge. It's a good time talking to Froge though. I need to do that again. Wait, what? Wow. Wait, hold on. Wait, wait. I should have expected that, honestly. The fact I didn't anticipate that being the case between Jimmy Dore and Ryan Grimm makes me feel like I didn't do my due diligence. I do. I felt like I did not do my due diligence on that at all. Let me turn back up my microphone. I'm gonna have. Hello, hello. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that's a bit loud. But y'all ever feel like that when you're like, you think you did a decent look at a topic and you didn't know about a portion of it that other people seem to know about, and you're like, wait, how did I miss this? Because the Jimmy Dore Ryan Grimm thing, I'm not gonna say I delved like super deep into it because I fucking didn't. I just looked at it and went, I doubt that Ryan Grimm is dodging Jimmy Dore. There's got to be more to this, and I didn't know that Jimmy Dore had Ryan Grimm on, but never released the video. I fucking muted myself and didn't realize it. Thanks, Nick. I appreciate you trying to tune in. I understand the internet being bad. It'll be uploaded later, as you already know. I'm going to be having a discussion. I completely got sidetracked by this. I'm going to be having a discussion later with a member of, or a former member of our revolution. I'll hammer that out when they come on. But I've had a discussion with them before when they were working with our revolution, and so they reached out to me and asked me to have discussion with them and a one of the like leading voices in our revolution, I guess, about organizational efforts. And they specifically said, because you are the most left person that I know, which I take that as a huge compliment. Like, let's be honest here. Our revolution puts in, or at least did, put in a pretty good amount of work, at least here in my state. trying to advocate for things. And being told by somebody who worked directly alongside our revolution before I became a leftist, like I was middlingly interested in politics in 2015, but not really. I didn't have a real interest. I kind of just looked and went, "Oh, okay, Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, Hillary Clinton." I've heard about for literally my whole fucking life. I was born during the Bill Clinton presidency. Okay, born during the Clinton presidency. I grew up hearing about Hillary Clinton literally my entire life. I grew up in a conservative household. I've mentioned this before a number of times, but I would wake up in the morning to get ready for school or whatever, and my dad would be sitting in front of Fox News playing last night's Tucker Carlson. Or not Tucker Carlson at that point. I think it was Bill O'Reilly. And later on, Tucker Carlson and all of the pundits. I never really saw much of the news broadcasting, but then again, I would have to go to school, so I wasn't there. But that is essentially, I mean, once I graduated from school, my dad, same thing. 2016, I was well out of school in 2016. I graduated high school in 2011. So I'd been out for like 5 years. And I'd wake up in 2016 or 2015, and I'd look over at my dad, who'd be awake at 4 in the fucking morning with the TV in the living room on, which at that particular point in time, I had to sleep in the living room. Small house, a lot of people. So I'd wake up to a TV playing Tucker fucking Carlson. That is the environment in which I grew up. I knew some people who were semi left leaning, but they didn't really talk to me. Partly because, unbeknownst to me, they could tell by how I talked where I got news from. I'll tell you right now, things that were not hard for me not to do, or things that were super easy for me to do, not use racial slurs. Except for the obvious, like South Park kind of reference, calling people Jew or whatever. That was the only time, and found out what the menorah in my great grandmother's house was all about. So, not as bad, but whatever. Still not a good thing to do. Wouldn't drop the K slur. I didn't even know that was a thing until way later in my life. I wasn't allowed to watch South Park or Family Guy until I was older or other things like that. So I didn't find out until probably, I don't know. I'd probably say around 2011 I found out what the K slur was. I'd seen it before. I'd visited 4chan before, but I didn't know what it was. I just saw it and thought it was kind of a funny word. Didn't really use it, didn't know the context. Wasn't going to use it. But it was very easy for me not to do those. Like racial slurs, no N words, no racial slurs about, well, I mean, to be honest, I've always had a particular like of Latin cultures and Latin people. So that one was super easy for me. I guess the B one, when I was in middle school, I was called honorary B word, and so I'd use it in that context in middle school. But that's a whole different matter. But I didn't like go out of my way to use racial slurs or anything like that. But it was more the hard one for me not to do was using the F slur. I tell you, that is that's that is a fucking battle right there. It's not because I hated gay people. I thought the word was funny as shit. At least I didn't outwardly hate gay people. maybe there was some internalized homophobia, but I did go to therapy for a lot of issues, and that was kind of also the point when I started moving over. Like between that and my old roommates are a uh, gay male couple, and living with them, I mean, you learn a lot, you grow a lot, and they forgave me for a lot because it was around the 2016 time that I moved in here. Like Trump was already pretty much president when I moved in. But being exposed to a whole bunch of different peoples, uh, even in my state of Oklahoma, there is a huge diverse community in Oklahoma City alone. It doesn't even include Tulsa and surrounding areas. I mean, rural Oklahoma is absolutely awful, but like anywhere where there's a decent population, you've got a whole lot of different people. Hell, just my my portion of my street, just my street, not even mile, the mile to mile, literally just like my block. There's like okay, so there's my house, which is white people, and the lady across the street and over one house is an old white lady, and then at the end of the street is a white family, and the last two houses on the other end of the street are a white family. Everyone else is black or some form of Latin. Like I don't know if all of them or even any of them are from Mexico. I don't bother to ask where people are from. If you want to tell me, cool. I'm not going to assume though. It's just rude to assume. Uh, but being exposed like that, having all the different types of cultures and influences, because I mean, some of the people who live near me grew up in Mexico and moved here later, and it's really cool to walk out of my house at like I don't know 9:30 at night and be able to stand in my driveway and listen to an entire mariachi concert happening in the like four houses down in their front yard. And it's not like super loud, but it's loud enough that if I step outside, I can hear it and I can vibe. Or waking up on a Sunday morning at like 8:30 and then waiting until about 9 ish or 10 ish, stepping outside, and there are three churches within my uh, mile area, my mile block, and all of them are Latin churches, or just a huge mixed church. One of them's really big and actually has like sections where some of it's just in Spanish and some of it's in English. And it's not a weird thing where it's like, hey, Latin people who speak Spanish, Spanish speakers, you go over here. If they speak English, they can go over. They just want to make sure that you can actually be involved and participate in everything and not feel awkward. But I know for a fact that there are some people who, like some of the old ladies that live around town, they will get curious about what goes on in the other service, go over there, and have a great time. They pretty much know what's going on. They're old ladies. They know what the Bible says. They just go over there and have a wonderful time. The rambling point I'm getting to is We need exposure in a safe manner and in a fairly consistent manner to get people less afraid for no fucking reason of different groups. Yeah, but I'm terrible and forgot that I don't need to always ADS. No, I weakened them up. I'm probably gonna lose, to be completely honest. I need to move the chair, move myself over, put myself in the right positioning. Nope, nerfed. Nope, dark helmet. Why is the multi-mock just the god tier right now? Do I need to pull mine out? Because I need to practice. I need to get better. And by need to, I mean I want to. God damn it. Yeah, I'm just gonna die over and over. I got one lucky kill, and my internet's still fucking trashed here. Yeah, it's just the cracked shit right now, I guess. Shotgun ain't doing it. That's not doing it either. Why would that not charge? I knew he was coming. I don't understand. I can't even hardly get a fucking shot off before I'm dead to a multi-mod. I don't get it. Why is everyone a fucking god at this game? What? He could not even see me. That's bullshit. Wait, what is his clan's name? mildly sus, but nothing too overt. They're just gonna gang up. Yep, this is why I fucking hate Rumble. I can never do a goddamn thing. It doesn't even matter my loadout. Other game modes, I fucking go off and tear through people. But nope, Rumble's about fucking spawn camping. So if you can't camp that spawn, yep, there's no fucking point. It does not matter. You cannot do anything. Let's throw this thing on. I guess this thing on. Should be winning ones all the time in Rumble with hand cannon shotgun loadout. That's what everybody fucking uses. But no, the instant I want to use something fun that everybody uses, it's nope. Multi-mock is going to ruin your fucking life. That and your shitty ass internet for some reason. Anyways. Alright. Much better. Already. Okay. I hate Rumble. This is the worst game mode. What the fuck? Oh my god. Okay. Don't do literally any of the things that you're supposed to do. Oh my god. Fuck yes. I needed that. Did you see it? Did you see it? The instant double fire from Hawkmoon? Oh my god! How is an auto rifle outgunning me at that fucking range when I know this fucking thing is stable. I know I've got good control over it. I don't care about this. I just truly despise this fucking game mode. But it does help you get better at dealing with fucking bullshit Oh my god. Oh my god. Why do I play? Why the fuck do I play? Good. Cam King took him out. And I took Cam King out. Because I'm better. Tom is a fucking god. What is going on here? What is this lobby? He's untouchable. He's literally untouchable. He's going to win this game like no goddamn problem. I fucking hate Rumble. I don't even care. Why the fuck do I play this game? Huh, you're using guns, but guess what? Your guns aren't as good as their guns, so your guns aren't going to do anything. Huh. What the fuck do you mean? Like, if I shoot somebody 3 times in the fucking head with a hand cannon, they should die. I don't understand this bullshit. Okay, let me make a small adjustment if it's even possible. I think that's its limit right there. Okay, that's higher than it needs to be by a small margin. There's that. If I stand right here, that should keep me about where I need to be. Unless I need to squat down to here. In which case, I gotta do a continual squat. Let's fucking get it. We can do this. Boom. Get rid of that, and we're loading in. Okay. I hate this game so much. I do. Fucking stasis. Get ruined. I'm killing all of you. Don't even care. This is a real gamer moment right here. Not happening. Fuck you. Come on. Walk this way. No! I didn't get to freeze them before I got killed. But it's okay. There's those. They automatically track my position. Yeah. Yep. 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 Uh-huh. Yep. 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 Makes sense. You don't want to fuck with it. Give me my grenade region. Fuck you. No. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Fourth place tie. Oh, there's only four people in this match. I need to maneuver. No! No! Come on. Do you want some? Why did it? I'm very confused right now. What the fuck? So, there's the. Come on, Brando. Get fucked. No, he skyburners me. I haven't seen that since I used it in a private match, and it really didn't do me anything, to be completely honest. Oh my god. There's a reason I hate this goddamn game mode so much. And of course, somebody else uses my tactic right after I die using it. What the fuck? That was everywhere but on me. How the fuck did I even die? I hate this game. I fucking hate this game mode. There's no point to it. None. There's nothing good in Rumble. Nothing. You get fucking spawn camped for the most part. If you do manage to get up, you get the most bullshit interactions imaginable. Oh my god, he was right in that too. What the fuck? You get that kind of shit where a dude can literally just slide into your fusion rifle blast and not take like any of it really. And then that shit too. This guy's not even touching me with that promo lens or anything, and he can kill me. What kind of hack is that? Explain to me. Because every time I use fucking Prometheus lens, I have to actually be on that target. Fuck you. It doesn't make any fucking sense. I'm reporting you with severe bad connection. I'll assume that instead of hacks. Because let's face it, y'all. I was looking at that. And there was no goddamn way his beam, or their beam, was going. And I'm sorry, you only get like 20 rounds or 50 rounds in this thing, and it runs out quick. At 1,000 rounds a minute, you go, and it's gone. So there's no fucking way. What do you mean cannot access other activities at this time? Yeah, break up that match, because that guy was hacked as fuck. So Thorn seems to work. Try this judgment. Because I like this roll more, but it's more of a team shotgun. And I think this is more of a 1v1 gun, even though it doesn't have, like, the best roll. It's got tunnel vision and an opening shot, and that works for me, I guess. I mean, I don't use it very much. I just got it. I use this one more. And a lot of my games that I've played using it. I thought I caught him with some of that fusion. How? Oh, worm husk. You fucking loser. At least it's something different, kind of. What? There's bound to be somebody. That was the entire fucking fusion rifle. No. 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 I hit him with the entire fucking thing. If that doesn't kill someone, nothing does. Yeah, I didn't have any. I have any option on that one. Honestly, it was just all bad all around. Just come on. No, I didn't hit with any of that. Do I even have a mod in here? Yeah, I've got counterbalance. is actually proving to be much more effective. No, you cannot. What the fuck ever? Oh, and spawn me right here where I just died. Okay. So much fucking sense. 7 o'clock. Oh, I need to. I don't care. I don't. I hit him with that entire fucking thing, and he didn't die. He just kills me with a fucking orb. I do not care. Goodbye. This. Boom. Headphone. Go ahead and properties, headphones, boom, open Discord. We will make sure. Is it in the stream chat or in my personal chat? Uh, Not doing that. Okay. Conversation time. Wait, why did I do that? Headphones. Oh, not a lot. I got it. Why is it going out through my? Oh, it's probably the user settings here. I gotta change a couple of settings. It logged me out, and now my uh, voice and video output device headphones. Okay, can we try that? All right, good. You're not coming out of my speakers now. Yeah, I hate that. And then just for my purposes, I'm gonna turn you up. All right, let's give that a try. I have a fear about leftist unity because too many people don't actually interpret the theory that they are claiming that they read. They may actually read the words, but they don't think about the logic behind why the arguments are being made and come to conclusions using Marxist dialectical materialism and historical analysis and the concept of class consciousness. They don't think about these things when they're reading the theory. They just start thinking about, oh, I could have been a Lenin or I could have been a Stalin or stupid shit. And then there's the other contingencies that are like, we actually have work to do, y'all. No, honestly, we shouldn't. But there are unprecedented levels of people being able to infiltrate leftist organizations and start putting divides in. Yep. But I'd rather be inclusive and try and weed out the people who are being divisive on purpose. I I think the sad part is, and I don't know to the extent how bad the individual issues are like weighing on the fractures, but I don't think it's like political. Uh, I think it's all like tactics because we all agree on like, yeah, we need a higher minimum wage. Yeah, we need to have Medicare for all. Yeah, we need to do something about fucking a UBI probably because automation is just destroying jobs. It is a fact. So we need to do something about these things. And then you've got some people who go, okay, we need to take like the approach that I actually put forth quite often, which is, you need to at local levels try and vote the most left leaning people that you can in, regardless of party. Like you look at somebody if they're really far left and they're green, you vote for them. If they're People's Party, even I don't really care, but you just have to be able to get the leftists in your area to vote for that person. I think there's room to do both, and that's what we need to get people to see because I can recognize that there's a lot of narrow mindedness and focused on no, my tactic is the one that works and it's new party. I do have a problem with just trying to push for a new party, and it's a concept in political science that's been explored, which is like I think it's called like the grip of the duopoly, and that is essentially if a duopoly forms, so you only have two parties, a two-party system, then the need to vote for one of those two parties, otherwise the other one wins, becomes even greater every election. So each election, when they say it's the most important election in history or whatever, it's because literally every single election after the first like four, it almost became impossible for third parties. Yeah, 'cause People's Party is just yeah. I really dislike because like Jimmy, I have huge problems with Jimmy Dore. He's one of the people I think is purposefully dividing the left. Brother, like with Kyle. Bosch actually called it because he was like, uh, Jimmy Dore hasn't made a response to Kyle's video when Kyle was talking about the whole Syria Jimmy Dore tweet thing. Kyle has, I personally don't think he has like a good view on outsourcing itself as a thing, as opposed to just making it a capitalist issue. Because he says that outsourcing costs jobs and that it is always bad. And the argument I would make is outsourcing is a tool and used responsibly, it can improve other countries that aren't ours while giving us benefit as well. Yeah, the current practices are what the issue is. Capitalism is the issue on this one, like most things. Yeah, yeah, that kind of shit is nice. And I mean, I didn't pay attention to hardly shit in politics back then, but you know, I found out that I was interested in it, and according to pretty much every online test I've taken, I have some form of like some degree of autism. So this makes sense to me. Man, I would actually have to say it wasn't Bernie that got me initially. It's the weirdest thing. Uh, I just explained it on stream earlier. I grew up in a household where I would wake up and my dad was watching Fox News. I didn't move out of that until 2016, or yeah, kind of the end of 2015, early 2016 area is when I moved out of that house. But a couple of years before then, hanging out with the people I ended up moving in with, my coworker and one of my best friends and his boyfriend, they uh, they were watching the Young Turks. Yeah, no. If you Here, I'm sending you a link to a video I was actually watching earlier. It's a clip from the Vanguard, if you know that YouTube channel. They interact with Jimmy Dore and stuff. It's actually them shitting on Jimmy Dore because a little known exposed thing, because they've had Ryan Grimm on for an interview before, and it's a little known thing. Apparently, Jimmy Dore uh, had a force the vote debate with Ryan Grimm and never released the video. And then he's doing the whole calling out Ryan Grimm for ducking and dodging and blah 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 blah. And Ryan Grimm has said, "No, I'll have a debate with you again on a moderated platform. You can have the Vanguard do it. You can have it choose choose a person, and we can have a moderated debate." And he's still saying that Ryan Grimm is ducking and dodging him and won't have a discussion with him and blah blah blah. So that's the video I just sent you for that. If there's any person I really dislike as far as a content creator, it is that guy. Honestly, it's kind of a multi-tiered approach. You kind of have to take it from a bunch of different angles. This is why I said I needed to do some research. It's because I needed to look into leftist theorists' approach to research or to organizing, and yeah, that's kind of why I'm very willing to host on this Discord, or I'll set up a Zoom channel, a room or something like that. I want to host a discussion between multiple people on it, and I don't want it to turn into a blood sports debate because I don't like those. Not participating. I like watching them. They're very fun. Nicole, God damn it. Yeah, I think it's mostly tactics, and some of it, honestly, is mischaracterization of people. Like, for example, this is not the only one, but Bosch gets a lot of it. People mischaracterize what he's said before, what he's done before. They'll blow shit out of proportion. And if you actually go and look at the stuff, it's right. And people are always like, "Oh, Bosch is this stupid moron. He doesn't know anything. He's never read theory. He's blah 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 blah." And Bosch is literally sitting there quoting Marxist theory to people in debates and stuff, and it they don't know where it came from. No, Kyle is actually one of the most bullheaded motherfuckers I've seen. You you can't call him a cuck or a shill or someone who just gives in. No, no, he's so adamant on his positions, which now, to be fair, I do have an issue with him on the whole Syria thing when he's talking about the Duma OPCW report, because he just came out and was immediately like, "Yeah, the whistleblowers, it's all bullshit." And if you actually read the quote unquote whistleblower stuff, it is, you know, partial evidence and stuff like that. You look at the dates and correspond when this was gathered versus this evidence, and they are missing like 70% of the evidence when they came to their conclusions and stuff. There was mismeasurements and all these issues with the whistleblower report. And yeah, it's just one thing he was pretty bullheaded on, and I'm like, I know, Kyle, this just shows you didn't actually read what was put out, and you didn't actually read the OPCW report, because there's a section in there where it addresses a lot of the issues that are raised in the whistleblower thing. So I know that I mean that's just a slip up on your end, because I know how well he does research on everything the fuck else. But I think he heard the word whistleblower report on a chemical attack, and his anti-imperialist brain kicked in, and he didn't really fully check. Probably because he was tired, and it's American imperialism exposed or something. I don't know. But if you can look past some of that and try and, navigate with those people on issues, and not allow that kind of overwhelming bias take over, you kind of get the direct democracy, the consensus. You kind of talk to everybody involved and go, "Hey, I think this is what we should do," and you get different opinions and you corroborate them together. So I mean, that's generally what my approach is going to be. Is I'm gonna you reach out and you talk to a whole bunch of different people, and you find out what they want, and you try and synthesize it all together, and you approach them with what you came up with and ask what they came up with based on what everybody else said. And if everybody comes up with something similar, you can run with it. Yes, we need to change our government body. It was just a republic, Senate and four assemblies. Go ahead and check Britannica. I can't find. Yeah, okay, so they had the monarchy with elected magistrates. Okay, so they even had elections when they had the monarchy. Kind of, yeah, with executive authority and shit, and control of the military. I think the best. Okay, so you can take a lot from Roman history, but we do kind of have something a little different than what Rome had. Right, and I mean, when we made the country the way it was definitely a bit different. We've kind of changed it to be more democratic than it used to be, and I think the answer is just more democratic. That's the big one. If you Our government structure could, in theory, work for a time if we replaced private ownership with democratic ownership. The government definitely needs to be kind of open to the public. There doesn't need to be a whole lot of gatekeeping. Age requirement for certain seats, I think, could be a thing, but mostly, honestly, if we just had like, do you know what anarcho syndicalism is? Okay, anarcho syndicalism or market anarchism is the thing that Noam Chomsky actually subscribes to. Oh, I'm getting a phone call. Let me. Can I get like 2 minutes? Uh, Hello? Whoa, whoa, whoa! Hey! Hold on, hold on. I need to. I'm back. It was my cousin. He was supposed to come over later, possibly, and he was calling to let me know he's not doing that. And then he started rambling about some other shit. So, uh, basically, yeah, anarcho-syndicalism is a structure where you have people who are represented with, or not even really represented. You have your like your workplace that you go and work at, if you so choose. You have a person who's a delegate that everybody in the workplace elects to be sent to discussions with other delegates. Like you present, everybody votes on issues presented to them. Like like hey, we're about to have a meeting with the other union delegates. So what are the things that we need to discuss? What are your solutions and problems? And you present all of that to them, and they take it and discuss it back and forth and try and come to something and send them back and forth until everybody reaches a consensus on shit. I'm not as well read on it as I probably should be. I know the kind of the basis of it. There's no money obviously because it's a form of anarchism. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. No, that's part of the reason that I moved left as I did because I it went the thing that got me when I mentioned TYT earlier. It wasn't so much jank. I mean, Anna also kind of moved me left more than jank because jank is definitely kind of a he's definitely a lib. And Anna had some kind of lefty rhetoric. And watching TYT on my own phone, they had Hassan on, and Hassan said some shit that made me question everything I knew about life. The words don't even matter what he said. They probably do, but I don't remember exactly what they were. But it made me go, wait, have I been living a lie this entire fucking time? So I looked up and saw Hassan had his own thing going. And off of that, I also came across the majority report. And Jamie, as inaccurate as I know she is now, um, she did definitely get me more interested in leftism and is the first person to tell me that anarchism isn't just disorder and chaos everywhere. So, got to give her credit there. And then off of that, yeah, I came across a whole bunch of other. I started reading theory off after that and didn't really know where to start, but I knew the name Karl Marx. Yeah, yeah. I used to watch Jimmy Dore as well. I mean, I do have some problems with his intuition as well. If you ever watched the 2016 debate versus Sam Cedar over the presidential election. Oh, it wasn't even Politicon. It's just Jimmy Dore calling into Sam Cedar. And well, this was back in 2016, and they were debating if it was better to vote for Trump or Hillary. And Sam Cedar went. He called it so far as to say, "What if Trump is able to appoint three justices? If you look at the actuarial tables for life expectancy of the three oldest Supreme Court justices, all of them have had cancer. They're soon to be dead. What are you going to say if Trump gets to appoint three Supreme Court justices?" And he called that shit. And Jimmy's like, "You're saying all this pie in the sky stuff. That's about as likely as the moon falling into Lake Michigan." Well, the progressive movements aren't dead, and the squad's been held in check since they got there, honestly. They had a couple of explosive moments, but honestly, most of their actual work is not really behind the scenes, but in a place where people don't pay attention, and that's in their fucking committees. That's why they fight so hard for committee assignments, because they know how our government works. Which is why I had a problem with Jimmy and his "fuck your committees" comments. I think it was Matt Leck or something. I don't remember exactly who it was. Oh yeah, no, I completely agree calling out PYT, except for saying that Anna blackmailed him. If you obviously don't know the definition of blackmail. She DM'd you and said, "I'm not going to hold my tongue about you being a shitty person anymore." She didn't ask for anything. She didn't say, "Hey, if you don't do this, then I'm going to tell people about this, this, and this." No, a sex pest. Yeah, and that's that's a bad one. Er, I figured after that, I really don't even need to go after Jimmy Dore. Almost nobody knows who I am except for people who fucking hate Jimmy Dore or really love Jimmy Dore and came across my channel because looking at the analytics, there's quite a few who came across there, downvoted my Jimmy Dore videos where I shit all over him, and then leave. Yeah, I kind of fell off of him about a year and a half, 2 years ago. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I did come across Bosch around 2 years ago, and he was pointing out Jimmy Dore being stupid, and I'm just like, you know what? Your logic sounds more consistent and right. So yeah, it was absolutely was. I That's when I dropped off too. I mean, I followed a little bit for a little bit into the quote unquote RussiaGate thing, and then I was shown a podcast that covered it and actually was like going to read through the report and everything at the end. And well, what's really interesting is reading the report. Mueller says that yeah, he says that there isn't sufficient evidence to tie Trump directly to it, but he also says that there was plenty of evidence that was tampered with or destroyed with further obstruction, which left open the possibility that he had worked with, but it was up to Congress to do further investigation. Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, and I mean, they did do another Senate investigation that also released a report, and it confirmed that Russia did interfere, but they didn't even bother to look into the Trump question on that. It was enough to get some people to either not vote or vote for a third party because Russia's entire thing is just destabilize America. Well, that's how they've been trying to operate. They want to do things to get us to fall. So they put out misinformation. That's what RT is. Well, at this point, that's all they have to do. But Putin's put in a fuckload of work getting there. No, I agree. Yeah, that's just flexing. That's completely unnecessary. There's literally no point to it except to be a dick. So, I mean, I agree with that, and I have what I feel is a pretty okay take on like the Afghan pullout thing, and I still get shit on for it on Twitter. I think he was right to do the withdrawal, but he should have left some troops at the airports to allow for evacuations. That's it. That's it. Like, it, just have the troops there, because I mean, and also get the people we promised to get out of there, like translators and shit. Get them the fuck over here. We promised them. They put their lives on the line to work with us. Not what I've been seeing. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff about like, uh, tell them if you're leaving us behind, tell them we would have made good Americans. Oh yeah, dude, this is it. It's pretty fucked. Yeah. Well, I make huge compromises with policy versus my actual values because I recognize that what I want to implement is completely not feasible right now. Like it wouldn't go fucking anywhere. But I do feel like America's Republicans like to call everything communist and stuff. I think they need to see the platform of an anarcho syndicalist. Right. And that's why I think they need to see the platform of a real anarcho syndicalist. You write up a good platform. Of course, there's language in there that they would not appreciate. You have to be able to explain very succinctly the difference between private property and personal property. Semantics and optics are everything. You, you mention property at all, their ears perk. You say property, they yeah, yeah, yeah. See, but that's the thing. Like, there's not. My platform is to get rid of the state, so there won't be like a tax system. Everybody just like does their shit, and there's no more money, and just keep doing your shit. Just don't like rob people. Don't kill people. Don't like just just be good. Okay, not because police are gonna come after you or anything, but like, why would you do it? There's no money. Why would you steal? There's no money. Well, that Anarcho syndicalism essentially comes down, well, anarchism really comes down to you as a person have the most amount of, I think it's positive freedoms or whatever. You're not obstructed from doing things outside of, harming people. You can do pretty much anything, and you also have the right to a good living, like house. You need a place to stay. Okay, gift economy is a huge deal where you can walk up to somebody and you need food. They have food. They give you food. Later on, if you have something that is extra, you can turn around and hand it to somebody who needs it. Yeah, yeah, no. But that's where the syndicalism part comes in. That is where, as it says here, here I can just link to the Wikipedia page, very long, but essentially, yeah, it says right here the basic principles of anarcho syndicalism are solidarity, direct action, action undertaken without the intervention of third parties such as politicians, bureaucrats, and arbitrators, and direct democracy or worker self management. Direct democracy and worker self management. Labor. That's how I believe it. Yeah, that is another problem we have on the left is a broader thing, especially in the online left. Um, you even try and talk to somebody who opposes your views, even like you just try and talk to them. Somebody, somebody in your chat will shit all over them. Like if there's a capitalist, they did though. Like I would like to point out that there used to be horses in North America until the native tribes hunted them to extinction, and then they were brought back over when colonization. So they'd already started like herding shit, but there were no more horses because they killed them all. Because horse meat is actually kind of sweet. Yeah, we do. I mean, I understand the vegan argument. I'll tell you right now, if we had ethical farming, that would probably change some people's minds. And with this lab grown meat shit, that will absolutely disregard any moral reason for veganism. Yeah, I've heard arguments for and against it, and the people who are for it, I mean, they're for it. Yeah, That's actually one of the people I know who's into it. I went to high school with him. And he's been posting about it. He was posting about it for like a couple of months, and then he posted something about how it can be effective in helping combat COVID. And I read through the article, and then I had to share it again to him and say, "Hey, I just want to make sure you realize that it says in this article that keto is only effective for short-term use." And he's like, "What? No, where does it say that?" So I had to screenshot and highlight the area and show it to him. Huh. Just started doing exercise again. Uh, Not even heavy exercise most of the time. Just some lighter exercise because my back is fucked, but I can strengthen all of that up at least and be good to go for a bit. And I can't run like I used to anymore, but I can. If I run, I have a chance of re-pinching a nerve in my spine, so I don't do that. Yeah, I mean, I deliver meat and stuff for restaurants, so I get that. Uh, as far as organizing, okay, so there is a very prominent line that has stuck with me since I read it from one Vladimir Lenin, and uh, that was actually just a reading of Marx before Marx got older, and he had said that he that the proletariat need to seize the state, but in another works he says that you have to transform the state and everything like that. And there's some issues with how Lenin did his stuff, but his organizing efforts were fucking phenomenal. That cannot be denied. He led an entire army to overthrow the Tsar. And he says, paraphrased, you have to meet people at their level of radicalization and find out what their issues are in their life to be able to get them on board. Because you can craft your narrative, your rhetoric around their issues if you understand the actual theory of communism. Right? uh And I am very big on not doing that specific move. I let people know if you realize you were wrong to vote for Trump, cool. And if you don't realize it, I still care for you and fight for you every day. Okay, I'm sorry. I had to. My brain just spazzed out. I was listening, but I'm also reading this Twitter post because I'm an idiot. And this guy says, which is more sus? Someone who just doesn't like rap at all, or someone who only likes Eminem and Logic? And somebody said Tom McDonald fans. No, it's just if you only like Eminem and Logic. Yeah, I like Joyner. I actually mostly listen to British rap. Oh yeah, if I'm listening to rap, it's mostly British rap, Bro, okay. Let me just pull up some. I like the beef songs. They're sins as they call it. Still disappointed by Stormzy. I'm just gonna send you this link because it is. I'm gonna have to open it, aren't I? No copyright. Sorry. Here you go. Yeah. Uh. Right. Organizing. The finding out where somebody's issues are. Because I mean, some people go off the. Some people I just don't think are capable of being reached in any means. They're just too deep. Yeah. People shitting on him over it. Fucking ancient. Right. And I mean, what's funny is people are like, "Oh, he stepped back because he's not." I mean, he does his budget chair shit, but he has to balance what Biden wants, what he wants, what his colleagues want, what the Republicans there want, and he has to try and make it as left leaning as possible. Yeah, the Reconciliation Committee. Yeah, people just ignore that, and then they also ignore the fact that while he's not in the Senate yelling at people like 30 something days a year, or 30. Mhm. Well, he now goes around and does little rallies at places, trying to awaken class consciousness because he knows like he's probably not going to run for another seat in the Senate. Yeah, and go around and do little talks and rallies and stuff because he's not going to like completely stop doing things, but he's going to go and have little gatherings and try and like awaken a new generation of young communists more and teach them. Yeah, I'm changing that name, but yeah, he was definitely a beacon for the left. Well, y- another issue that comes in with the Jimmy Dore thing, he he is kind of pushing people away from the only people willing to step up and be leftist leaders. Uh huh. Oh, I do all the time. I mean, all the time. should want leftist unity in a form. I mean, even if it's not full lockstep, everybody's pushing the exact same way and for the exact same thing. I do think a multi-tiered approach is a good way to go because there are people who have checked completely out of electoralism, and those are more. They're not quite the Jimmy Dore fans. They are more the um, socialist MMA Nico House leaning fans, and I don't even consider Nico a fucking leftist now. Yeah, that's true. And that's a huge red flag right there. Anyone who is standing Tulsi super hard. Uh, I didn't even have to get that far. For one, I heard some shit about her work previously back in 2014 when she was working for her dad. Yeah. Well, and her anti-gay stances and her anti-trans stances, and oh yeah, right before she actually left office, she put out a slew of legislation meant that were like trans bathroom bills and shit. Yeah, that's Tulsi. And when she backed off Medicare for all for her public option, which she dressed up as Medicare for all plus, that that knocked her almost completely out of my list. And then after I heard about her anti-gay work with her father, back before she was a sitting congressperson, but it wasn't that long ago. It was apparently in 2014. Um, that completely wrote her off for me. But yeah, no, the fact that Jimmy Dore even like he made excuses for her before she even said anything. Like he's like, no, no, that's good, that's good. I mean, you're not doing Medicare for all, but you're doing a public option, and you're criticizing Joe Biden for doing a public option, but your public option sounds good. Yeah, like in hindsight, it does a massive amount too. But I do think we can get this in despite those people. We can accomplish this. So we it's not so much just about like unifying the left because there's people who consider themselves leftists that aren't. I mean, I know some people say that about me. They say I'm a shit lib, which is why my Twitter bio and my YouTube channel's bio say the most based shit lib because I am firmly a fucking anarchist. But you're kind of a baby leftist. That's okay. That's what the space is here for. Yeah, he predicted like he's still dabbing on capitalists and fascists 150 years in the future. Like he did. That's the thing that people seem to forget. They look at Karl Marx and they're like, "Oh, he was a philosopher, motherfucker. He was also an economist. He was an economist, and he and a sociologist." Yeah, it says German philosopher, but he was definitely Karl Heinrich Marx was a German philosopher, economist, historian, sociologist, political theorist, journalist, and socialist revolutionary. He knows everything. Yeah, he just knew. He's just like, okay, yeah, I know history, I know sociology, I know economics, I know political theory. Yeah. Now, um, one of the other things that's kind of been a long-standing divide in the left is Sadly, my group, anarchists versus the communists, but it's super far down the line because like you have to get rid of capitalism, and once you get rid of capitalism, then you decide on whether or not you just completely abolish the state, since you're having to get rid of the current state structure. You have to, you know, change the state apparatus, as Karl Marx says. I mean, I'll pull that quote real quick just because. The workers. Okay, so it's in the Civil War in France. Nope, I don't need the Wikipedia version. I need, yep, the Paris Commune. Right here. It says right here. But the working class cannot simply lay hold of the ready made state machinery and wield it for its own purposes. The centralized state power, with its ubiquitous organs of standing army, police, bureaucracy, clergy, and judicator, organs wrought after the plan of a systemic and hierarchic division of labor, originates from the days of absolute monarchy, serving nascent middle class society as a mighty weapon in its struggle against feudalism. Still, its development remained clogged by all manner of medieval rubbish, seigneurial rights, local privileges, municipal and guild monopolies, and provincial constitutions. The gigantic broom of the French Revolution of the 18th century swept away all these relics of bygone times, thus clearing simultaneously the social soil of its last hindrances to the superstructure of the modern state edifice raised under the First Empire, itself the offspring of the coalition wars of old semi feudal Europe against modern France. Which means if you're going to seize the state, you have to abolish every portion of it and reconstitute it under a worker state. Which anarchists go, well, if you're going to reconstitute it, why? The state is a hierarchical, coercive, and violent organization that does not have a right to exist. Yeah, and so the anarchists are like, why would you reconstitute the state? If you're going to destroy it anyways, move forward with something else. The communists want a stateless, classless, moneyless society. Anarchists want a stateless, classless, moneyless society. Which is essentially what anarchists want. They're like, hey, well, they actually just want gift. They don't want you to necessarily wield power over another person because you have something that they need. They want you to be willing to voluntarily give up excess that you have to people in need, and other people will take care of you in turn. We're all human. Uh huh. Yeah. But it starts with somebody putting out the idea. So if, in a huge hypothetical, I were to run for president of the United States, which will never fucking happen, I'll get assassinated real quick. Um, yeah, they probably, yeah. But if I were to hypothetically run for president of the United States and didn't get off by the state, America hearing my platform on a stage, like assuming I was able to be able to go onto a debate stage and just slam people, capitalism does this, and this is why I want to change it, and this is why we need to do this. Some people would, some, but that's the thing. I know for a fact, because of watching Vosh for as long as I have, there are people who will laugh at you to your face and tell you you're a useless cuck, and then turn around 6 months later because they've stewed over what you said and come back and apologize and tell you that you were right. I don't give a shit if they laugh at me. I don't care if I win. Putting forth the ideas and awakening that consciousness in people is the goal. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I mean, if I try not to do that unless it's on verifiable fact. If I put forth an idea, like some hypothetical, I don't like to call people an idiot. I'd like to. I mean, it depends. I don't know. Sometimes I still do it. I got some work to do. I can recognize that. That's probably good. Yeah, we. I mean, it's kind of a goal to bring the left together as a broader unit. Well, I think my particular goal right now is, I mean, yeah, I get Saturday later on in the day because I've got D&D in the morning and then possibly a little bit of band practice in the afternoon, like around 4:35. But after that, I need to. I told Susan we could talk then. And bring you in. We can have a small conference on Discord. I've already added her to Discord, so we can talk about that. And I want to reach out to organizers in other states and bring them in for their perspective. Yeah, I mean, it all takes my perspective on it is literally just if you don't come forth with your solutions to problems, you find out what the problems they're facing are and tailor your rhetoric not to betray your own principles and ideals, but to appeal to their issues. So, like, just a small example, like there's a guy at work who's I don't know, he's not getting paid enough or something. You can approach it in a few different ways. You kind of ask him like, "Oh, okay, well, what's the problem?" It's like, "Well, I'm not getting paid enough. I guess I'm not putting forth my best value to the market." That that mhm, right, and that's why you have to listen to certain keywords because if they say I'm not putting forth my best market value or whatever, you know they've listened to some really really dumb ideas. Pretty much. Well, he inherited a lot of money from his dad. Yeah, his dad was wealthy in South Africa, and he inherited money and moved over here, and then did a coup, and then he paid the government to do a coup in a country so that he could get lithium cheaper for his Tesla batteries. Yep, super fucked. But so guy mentions, oh, I'm not putting forth my best labor or my best market value or whatever. He's been listening to some like weird pseudo alt right kind of ANCAP shit. Yeah, appealing to that is probably in some ways the most difficult, but also one of the easiest. Because you go, what do you mean you're not putting forth your best market value? You are the value. You are the thing that generates value. You have monopsony. Yeah, I mean Republicans. It's really not that hard to go. What are the issues? And you'll get probably three answers, and they are summed up. They can be summed up to communists, brown people, and well, black people, and those are the Republican issues. Now, fundamentally, it's definitely not those. They mask it, and it depends. Okay, if it depends on what kind of Republican you're talking about too. But I'm talking about like Southern Republican. Yep, that's their main issue right there. It's the people who aren't white. And I guess in a secondary sense, yeah, guns and religion, but that only comes up every once in a while whenever there's a economic issue popping up under a Republican president, and they have to distract with some stupid war on Christmas or some stupid shit. Yeah. Well, yeah, I was say disagree with liberals. That's where the left and the right hold hand in hand. If you don't support gun ownership, you're being transphobic. Yeah, I don't either. Now, do am I uncomfortable? Currently, I can see that. See, people have this weird thing because I put forth ideas that I think are like current, like that will work right now, and I can have like differing views on stuff. I am uncomfortable with the state limiting what people can own guns, but I recognize the utility of keeping somebody who is like very likely to commit violent actions to large groups of people out of nowhere and not be able to just like open carry a gun. Now, I do think that's one of the things. Maybe they can have a shotgun at home, like in the UK. Leave it home. Yeah, I mean, most gun crimes are committed with handguns, anyways. I mean, yeah, which is another reason I have to laugh at Steven Crowder with his gun holsters to promote gun safety. What people, motherfucker will just pull three of them off of his hip and go, "You need to get one of these three." And you're like, "Okay, can you tell me what they are?" Yeah, here's the ammo you need. As a matter of fact, here's $100 to get you one. Well, shit, thank you, sir. Exploit the Republicans for gun ownership. That's where the left and the right hold hands, brother, is that gun ownership. Karl Marx said it too. So that's the thing. Oh, Karl Marx was a huge like that's another thing I have to point out is people seem to misunderstand Marx when he says like they're like, oh, he's all about like equality and stuff. No, Karl Marx didn't write hardly shit about equality. He wrote about freedom. Yeah, he wrote letters to Abraham Lincoln and praised him for like the Emancipation Proclamation. More freedom. Yep. Of course, he didn't care about race except for Jewish people. He he used a lot of anti-Semitic arguments in his book on the Jewish question, but he was well in his defense. Karl Marx is Jewish. He didn't hate. He hated money, and the only religion at the time that allowed like usury, and so they were forced to be bankers was Judaism. That's why the stereotype of the quote unquote money grubbing Jew exists, is because they were the only religion that didn't outright ban charging interest on loans. And so when the Romans came through, they were like, "Oh, we're Catholic, we can't do that." But that's the only way banking works. You do that. And then Islam came through and went, "We have a banking system that doesn't charge interest." And at that point, capitalism had already been established, and they went, "No, you don't. By the way, here's bombs, and your country's in ruin now and destabilized. Have fun with that." Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. That's a simple guide to U.S. interference in the Middle East, right? Like, have you ever read anything by Gaddafi? You should. If there's Libya, yeah, Muammar Gaddafi. Not gonna lie, based. That's not quite what he didn't discover a resource. What he did was he took over BP's oil rigs in the region and started selling the oil off of their rigs, which were installed there illegally. And so he said, the profits go to our people. And BP cried to America, and we went and assassinated him. It was 1953. His name was Mohammad Mossadegh, and he was the president of Iran at the time. And yeah, we orchestrated a coup against him. Yeah, the Shah. And then we got him out. Yeah, we worked with the Mujahideen. Like, we did a bunch of fuck shit to try and install puppet dictators. Yeah, puppet dictators everywhere, everywhere. Yeah, he did. He was like, "Yeah, I'll work with you to get into power." Okay, now you can go fuck off, imperialist scum. It's like, but you benefited from our imperialism. Yeah, but you're not going to. Which, not gonna lie, that's pretty based that they did that, but nothing else about the Shah was based at all. Mossadegh, I mean, under Mossadegh, Iran was the most progressive country in the world, for especially for a Muslim country. In America, if women showed their ankles under a fucking skirt, that was, I don't know, but fucking no, women are driving in Iran at that point. All those rights were stripped from them. So if anybody ever says, "Oh, but we have our rights here in America, they can't be stripped," bullshit, bullshit. never, ever think your rights are guaranteed and safe in America because we purport to be the freest country in the world. No, we get a fascist into office. That shit's gone out the window. If you don't look like me, actually not even me, because it the point that a fascist in America comes. Most of the fascists in America are fucking Nazis. They'd start measuring my nose and shit. They would, especially if they go through my stream and hear me talking about my great grandmother's menorah. So I'm not safe under it, but white people are safe under Nazism unless you're gay, and then you're out, or trans, or well, if you're not a cis white person, um, yeah, you're pretty much done. And well, if they find any Judaism in your family tree, so help you, buddy. Uh huh. Yep. Yep. Like, oh no, what do I do? My entire world, right? There's 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 like 17 million Jews. Like, w- I don't under I don't understand why people are like, oh, but well, okay, Nazis will use that to say that the Holocaust didn't happen, but oh, well, I don't know, maybe. Um, how many people practice Judaism? Oh, yeah. With between 14.5 to 17.4 million adherents worldwide, Judaism is the 10th largest religion. I thought so too. But I guess technically Hindu and Shinto, and there's quite a few actually. No. Um, yeah, 1.2 billion Muslims back whenever this PBS article was out about it. There was 1.8 as of 2015, roughly 24% of the global population. Yeah, okay, Christianity with all of its different adherents inside of it is 31% of the religious adherents. Yeah, it's actually Christianity, Islam, secular, non-religious, agnostic, or atheist, Hinduism, Buddhism, Chinese traditional religion, ethnic religions, excluding some separate categories, African traditional religions, Sikhism, Spiritism, and then Judaism. And Shinto has 4 million adherents, which is like, it's basically Japanese Buddhism. Yeah. Well, that's why anime looks the way it does a lot of the time, and why they've still got all those old feudal looking structures. It's because they're like religious sites. I like old school Japanese architecture. That shit's dope. I don't like. Yeah, I have a particular care for Japan, uh, and I wish they would change their like practices, especially with immigration and stuff, so that they weren't. you know, semi-fascist. Yeah, it can be. They have done some good things as far as like allowing people to just sleep on the job and not reprimanding them because they find it to be a sign of a good worker. It means you were working hard, and so that actually relieved a lot of stress off of workers. I want America to adopt the proven better method of 4-day work weeks with a huge fuck you to anybody who says otherwise, and I also get my full pay. Also, the government needs to subsidize small businesses to be able to pay people $15 an hour because I know some small businesses struggling to be able to do that for like actual management. The actual owner is only making essentially like $17 an hour. Oh yeah, absolutely. There's so much studies, so many studies done on things that could improve our society, and people don't ever come across them. If you Google effectiveness of worker co-ops, I believe is the way that I worded it. The first like page is articles on how they are actually infinitely better. Well, not infinitely better, but they're definitely better. They are as productive, if not more productive. They are more stable through pandemics like COVID-19. They have happier workers. They pay their workers better, obviously, because everybody's a worker owner. And plus, people not going to work. People are like, what? I know the state can pay me to do this, and I'm going to demand that the state pay me to do this, so long as you fucks do not pay well. Why are you making so much money and I'm not getting any of it? I'm the one who's making the fucking products. I'm I still struggled. I was still struggling, but there was back shit that I had to deal with anyways and getting my car fixed. I actually didn't manage to get. I got like 1 week filed on that, and that was it because I still had to go to work working at. And I did not know that you could file if you got 21 or less hours in a week. I was working like 21, sometimes 19 hours a week. So I wasn't able. I didn't know that I could file to get stuff made up. So I was trying to survive off of that with my roommate not being employed. Yeah, I'm at 1175, and that's still. I mean, but I'm also. I mean, that's just monetary. There's other things that behind the scenes that happen with that job that I'm not going to elaborate too much on. But essentially, I'd be making about 15-ish an hour right now. This is actually the way that I would be getting people moved over. Yep, just talking to people. Because I mean, I'm just presenting you with just little bits of information and stuff like that, and I already know that that's gonna cause you to look more into it. Yeah, I mean, and that's the strategy I use. As soon as I knew you went and looked stuff up when you heard about it, all I have to do is present some information to you, maybe a couple of links to pique your interest, and you're gonna go and do your own looking. And yeah, there's just so much, which is which is why I do not like the fucking gatekeeping that I see coming from Twitter leftists, especially. Those people piss me off. Oh my god. really annoying too, especially because when I was getting into being a leftist and posting, people were shitting on me all the time for stuff. And that didn't make me want to look more into it. That made me just be like, well, why the fuck would I even want to associate with you? Yeah, I don't really talk to my dad. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, my dad. I mean, he won't disown me because as far as like his biological children, I am his only boy, so he refuses to do that. But he has told me before, I am disappointed in the way that you think. Right after he said, I taught you to be a free thinker, I'm disappointed in the way that you think. Well, motherfucker, which is it? I love you, but those are contradictory statements. Yeah, well, yeah. I could not say that about my dad as a father. He was a good dad. Both my parents were actually pretty good as parents. There's always some issues. I mean, I can't say that they were flawless, but yeah, and I've heard. I mean, I do still talk to my sister. I hear a lot of stuff about a lot of people, and sometimes I have to be like, no, just don't tell me. I don't want to know. Uh, I actually haven't heard that one. Well, but they know me. At least they they know how I can be sometimes, and aggressive and an asshole is one of my modus operandi. So I don't like blood sports, but god damn it, there are some topics I just want to bring somebody onto my Discord and just chew them the fuck out over. Like, this is gonna be a rare one, y'all. This topic is one that fucking pisses me off. Like one I saw earlier today. A woman said that lady on Twitter said that women cannot perform rape. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you were coerced. Which, yeah, no, that's not okay. So that's a topic that, like, straight up, if I knew that the woman wasn't a coward, and I would probably be called a misogynist for bringing a woman on to tear into her about men not being able to be raped by women. Uh, yeah, coercive elements to it. Yeah, no. If you don't consent willingly, if you don't show enthusiastic consent, then that is rape. And I will not hear anything different from anyone else. Yeah, you can't downplay actual. Yeah, it's really. How many men really come forward with shit like honestly? Yeah, so I mean, fuck. I mean, yeah, you can't. it Nic something I have learned without ever having to actually interact with Nicole is that Nicole is fucking horrible. Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, and she knows that she is an attractive woman, and she will that's why she bitches about people not donating to her, and they've been in the stream for 5 minutes. It's just $5. Why have you not donated to me already? And blah blah blah. Blah. Yeah, they're just gifted to you. Uh-huh. Yeah, if you don't add anything productive, then what's the fucking point? That's part of the reason I'm having these conversations. Yeah, I don't hardly use Facebook, and so I mean I'm in the group, and I never really do much. But when I do actually scroll through the group, I'm not gonna post in there if other people aren't posting really, and I'd rather reach out to people in the group and talk to them individually or whatever. Nobody fucking does it. Yeah, I should probably start stirring it up. Speaking of controversy, has anybody tried to shit on me for my posts earlier? Yeah, I'm gonna have to open that up on my phone. I do not log into my personal Facebook on my PC. That is for yeah. I might have to do something. Maybe make some more connections. Reach out. Royals challenges Vice. Okay. Oh, I have. I do have to ask. Do you know who Gregory Harden is? Okay. Or let me double check that if that's the name. Because he is somebody I'm arranging a discussion with as well, but not for. Scroll down. Yeah, it's Gregory Harden the second. He's running as the candidate for Oklahoma House of Representatives District 26 for Shawnee, Oklahoma. and I mean, I don't like Ryan Knight, partly because he went from it's not because he's wrong, it's his demeanor about everything, and a little it feels a little grifty with him. He came out with his podcast, and immediately it was like first tier $15 a month, second tier, and they were all dumb names. Like his final one was like seize the means of production, comrade, and it was like $175 a month, and I'm just like, what are you doing with your Patreon? My Patreon is $1 a month. And if anybody ever gives me $1, I will make them a personal shorthand video of an argument in a rhetorical style that they want me to do. I will not do the rhetorical style they choose, but they give me a topic, and I will put forth a baseline argumentation for them. Personal. Here you go. I will fucking email it to you. But on that particular point, with Democrats not doing anything, there is a modicum of truth to them not being able to just do everything. Not even everything that they said they want to do. Partly because the margin in the House is not good enough, or the Senate is not good enough. The margin in the House, they actually have a decent amount of leverage, but we do need more people in the House. It's just like with a workplace. If you think about it like this, you've got our government structure like a job. You can put the Speaker of the House as the owner for Congress, and then the people right below her are the managers, and then the junior Congress, the regular, the younger Congress people are your minimum wage workers. Well, AOC herself, I mean, what is she gonna do, and what is her voice gonna do in a tide of 435 fucking people? But if you get a coalition together, or quote unquote unionize, then suddenly you have a lot more power. We need more people in Congress who can work with, maybe not necessarily under the Democratic Party, but if they are in Congress, they are leftists, and they are like they can work with AOC. They can build an actual like socialist coalition. Then AOC can leave the Progressive Caucus. The Progressive Caucus with anybody who's actually left leaning can go over to that caucus and have leverage and start really putting in work. Ilhan Omar is I like AOC because I've seen more of her actual like work in Congress, but I like Ilhan Omar, especially with how she says shit on Twitter. That shit is great. Wait, was it? It wasn't Pramila Jayapal, was it? Well, that doesn't. I don't think she's a fake progressive. I think she got pressured into the establishment on that one. Um, she is probably making some bad choices in some areas. She is the leader of an entire caucus, so she can't make all the choices she would make individually. She has to make them as the caucus head. So she's getting input from everybody in the caucus to do things, and some of them have different ways about going it. And then there's Pelosi and her demands and shit like that. Not to like defend Pramila Jayapal. If she's fucking up hardcore, then that needs to be called out. I just haven't paid as much attention to her individually, but I do know that she's the one who wrote Medicare for all. That's her bill. Yeah, I could see some distrust or some uneasiness, but I don't know. I think she's navigating a really tough position right now, and she's newer to leading a caucus. But I do think that she could probably push for some more stuff. I mean, she's the one who did come out and be like, "Well, Medicare for all is really hard to get right now. A public option is a step forward," which I agree with. It is, but the way she worded it seemed like I'm kind of backing away from Medicare for all a bit for now. And it's like, come on, Pramila, you literally wrote this bill. This is yours. Bernie popularized it, but he didn't come up with Medicare for all. It's not his actual bill. He just got credited for it. Oh, because as a Democrat, she's ordered to be fucking weak and feckless on a lot of issues and not do things hardcore, which is probably why the squad is slowed down a bit. Is because if they want to keep committee seats, I mean that's that whole the state is a coercive, violent force. If they want to keep committee seats and leading caucuses and stuff, they need to play some ball here. That's what they started as. And that's what they were supposed to do. Oh, and you kind of also have to give into the fact that their little thing with the whole Justice Democrats bit is led by somebody else entirely, so they have to count out of that too. I think it should just dip. Like, sorry, fuck off. Leave the squad members and stuff, and leave your actual decent organizers. But change everything else. Like, change the name, change your head, change your your plan. Instead of having just a narrow focus, maybe go more broad. And Justice Democrats could be, huh? Oh my God, yes. I will disagree with Kyle on some things, but oh my God, yes. When it comes to progressive issues, I'm with Kyle all the way. It's just some economic issues I have. Actually, probably most economic issues. 'Cause I'm pretty sure Kyle is still a capitalist. Yeah, which makes sense. I mean, literally, the reason that Vosh calls himself a libertarian socialist? Libertarian was made by anarchists. That's the term was used by anarchists to describe themselves. Yeah, and until the right wing took over it. But that again, that's why he calls himself libertarian socialist because people who live in America go libertarian socialist. Those are fucking oxymoronic. And he goes, no, they're actually not. Libertarianism was made by an anarchist. The original libertarian, that when it was used, it was to describe anarchist ideals. People go, no, it wasn't, and you hear their keyboard go off, and they're silent as they read about how yes, that's actually the case. It's one of the best things. So just reappropriating shit like that, just taking those kinds of things back and utilizing them, especially in a way that gets people to go, wait, those are contradictory things, and then you can explain how they're not. Yeah, and this is just a preliminary discussion. It'll be way more narrowed down with Susan in a more professional environment because I'm kind of just rambling and going on. I mean, oh yeah, no, I have that problem sometimes, but in a position where I'm going to be thinking more about the structure of what I'm saying because as soon as she canceled, I stopped thinking about okay, yeah, we're not doing the discussion today, so that's fine, whatever. And then I told you, and then I was like, do you still want to do it today? And I'd already been out of the structured mode. Right on. Yeah, I mean, could have been 7:30 or whatever. It doesn't really matter. I do need to go pretty soon. Overall, stream. You hear this as well. I muted the stream earlier. At least I hope I got it in time when you were talking about the thing earlier. But Uh, if not, I'll go over it in the VOD and try and cut that section out. No, just that you mentioned something that you hadn't really told people, and I don't want that to necessarily get. Although we don't have names or literally anything outside of that. Let me write there. There we go. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's sad. And okay, so we're back with the stream on that one. But yeah, we'll have a more structured thing. I've been I've been going. I had a supremely ridiculous day at work with how I had to run things. One of my stops didn't open until 11, but I also had a stop nearby that didn't open until 2, and they didn't want me to backtrack, so I had a weird route. I mean, this one, oh, it's. I mean, yeah, I drive for a living. Yeah, but there's other, like I said, there's other factors involved that also allow me to consider it 15-ish an hour, 15, almost 16, probably. Yeah, but some stuff that is special benefits. Oh yeah, right on. We need to probably have more discussions, semi more frequently, if that's possible. Yeah, a lot of it comes down. I fall asleep sometimes with leftist theory books. I'll listen to them at work occasionally when I feel like listening to them. Sometimes I'm just listening to music, or honestly, I just pull up different leftists on YouTube. I'll listen to one of my favorites. I'll recommend this channel right now, and it's not Losh. It is Zoe Baker. Zoe Baker. I'm pretty sure Zoe has a PhD in anarchist theory, and she is super based. So I recommend that channel highly. All right. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, I should technically already be. I should have already eaten and started getting ready for bed because I got a decently sized work day tomorrow. But I haven't even gotten dinner yet, so that's why I need to end the stream here in a minute. So, you have a good night, and I will be looking forward to the discussion on Saturday. Take care. All right, you fuckers heard it here. I haven't even had dinner yet. All for you. I put my body on the line for you. For you. No, I'm kidding. But I'm gonna go get some food. So, take care. Seriously, I really do want you all to just put a little bit more of a thought into how you're doing things, right? Put a little bit more. A little bit. I'm sorry. I'm actually starting to get very, very distracted by how hungry I am. Try and extrapolate the logic being used in arguments, especially in theory and shit like that. Don't just read it as a religious text and oh, Vanguard overthrow government. Blah. No, don't do that because that is let me just say your brain must be a marble to do that. Seriously, reading comprehension, take care and taking care of people, compassion, love, shit. uh,